Our next guest needs no introduction. He's been touring clubs and colleges all across the nation.
You might have missed him on Jimmy Kimmel.
He's been a good friend of mine for a long time, and a good friend of the show, and a good friend of entertainment in general. Please welcome Rob Schrab.
Oh, no.
All right.
Rob, do you want to try to freestyle a Belmont joke? It's a tripartite joke where one person is either the hero or the dummy. It's hard to tell which. It's kind of like the Schrabbing of jokes.
Have you guys been having a hard time with 2018?
Yeah.
It's gone pretty seamlessly for me so far.
I mean, I've been having a...
Dan, shush.
I've been having... Is my mic on? I haven't been a hard time getting up in the morning. Like, it was difficult. It was difficult for me to come over here.
I have not really... I got a lot of work I could be doing, and it's not even that much. It's not even like an overwhelming workload, but I really am still in vacation mode.
I'm having like a hard turn. I'm going through. I go to bed early. I sleep late. I don't go out. I'm home. I order in a lot.
Does Kate?
Kate goes plays Magic cards and VR and hangs out in Malibu, and it's just me and the dog most of the time.
Cody and I are definitely enabling each other. Like, we just every weekend we can't wait to get to the weekend, and then we jump into bed and we just turn into fucking potatoes and
I've been doing that a lot.
But you're doing it Kate's going like, okay, I'm going to Malibu to play Magic the Gathering, and
I've been also meditating. I've been meditating a lot. I'm taking a nap.
For how long?
I'll set my insight timer for 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But I'll set the alarm.
If you meditate too long, you could go crazy. Have you read about that?
No.
I mean, it has to be in the neighborhood of like 48 hours.
Yeah,
don't worry about
it. A Buddhist, a Hindu, and a Belmont
go to Nirvana.
Start meditating.
And they try to achieve Nirvana together. And the Hindu says, I'll go into Nirvana first.
I've been taking transcendental meditation classes.
You've been taking what? Sorry.
Transcendental meditation classes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to one of those orientations for that.
Oh, yeah. It's like right around the block from where we live.
Jonah Ray was there.
Oh, really?
I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying that. He was put up to it by Joel Hodgson, our good friend. Who's
same here.
Was really into TM.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the fucking best,
He
buddy.
told me like 3 years ago, he goes, I think you really need to be doing this, man. I think with your, like, the way your mind works, you
got to get up inside that mother grabber.
Yeah. You guys got to really, get down into it. No. So I did, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
Did you grab that mother?
I grabbed a mother.
I can't remember why Cody and I didn't go back. It wasn't like... I think it was just like... Oh, you know what? It was because they said you can't get high. And Cody was like, peace.
Like in general or before the class?
No,
you have to... Like, you're not supposed to get high.
They said, to get like an actual... as you start out. It wasn't like for the rest of your life. It was like...
Yeah.
If you're going to do this, you're going to, to get a proper version of what hopefully will help you, try not to drink or get high or whatever. Yeah. Or they even said don't take a nap before, just little things like that.
No, I know it was temporary. It wasn't like but still deal breaker.
Yeah.
Like we're not having kids because I think, like Cody was like, well, maybe we should freeze our eggs.
That's extreme.
And there you go. Okay, step 1 to freeze your eggs. Don't get high done. Forget it. Peace.
You two really like getting high.
I really like Cody. She really likes getting high. I should get high more and drink less.
I get high and then I go to bed.
Yeah.
Me too.
I eat and then I go to bed. I turn on the television and I go to bed.
Yeah, man.
I'm falling apart.
No, man.
This is a cry for help.
You're just sleepy. You're just
What are you
a
supposed to? What do
sleepy
you
guy.
want to do? You want to be a CG head in the bucket list, like falling
do.
out of a plane? Like what? Don't let people trick you into thinking that life is about going outside or flying a kite. Like what the fuck? Who cares? Those people are morons.
I'm not happy though.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's it. But in case you're not happy because you think you should be doing something else, that could be a part of the whole syndrome.
That's a little bit of
I think
it
if you
too.
step on the gas and go, I want to be in bed. You know, that's how I quit smoking. It was like, I'm gonna fucking smoke this cigarette. I'm gonna smoke the shit out of this fucking cigarette. Like I'm sick and tired of pretending I'm trying to quit or resenting people for telling me I should quit. It's like I'm smoking, okay? I'm gonna smoke this cigarette, and I'd look at each cigarette and I'd go like, "Get ready to get smoked, you little fuck!" And I'd smoke it, and I'd be like, and then that was the first step down the road to getting to quit smoking.
Right,
like
it's being intentional.
Yeah,
about
just
it.
being aware. Is
Right.
like instead of pretending and you're or being unconscious about things, you know, not wanting to face things is a big that seals off a mental process that can just make thoughts like magnify and but simultaneously they're sealed off, so you're not even knowing they're magnified. That's where you get your classic guy, you know, sipping coffee and then they run out of Splenda and he takes a knife out and kills everybody because
the classic.
yeah, you know, it's just that thing. It's like,
What are you unhappy about, Rob?
I'm just unfulfilled. You know,
Professionally,
just like,
probably, right? Not creatively, or both? Because
All
usually
of
there's
it.
creative and professional, and they're kind of not necessarily the same.
I just it's not fun anymore,
Right, yeah.
and I miss that. And you know, and everybody wants to help. And say, well, you got to go out, you got to read, you got to do some stuff. You can't just like. And yeah, I know, but that doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't help. That
I don't want to
help.
help. I want you to fucking pop like because I know it'll be great. You know, it's like I want you to get so fucking sad and angry and sick of the world and selfish, and that you take all of that talent that you can't escape and just fucking smash it like a Eddie Van Halen guitar and like create some crazy new form of music that, you know, no pressure. But I just, you know, I just like, I like making little animations and put them on Instagram, whatever. Like I think you need to do what Justin did when he you know, when he started doing the voices that became Rick and Morty. It was because he was mad and lonely and sad and like he hated like working and like he just wanted to take a shit on Back to the Future. So it's like he was just alienated, you know. It's like just follow it. Like think about how fucking much you hate everybody. Like they're stupid. They control your life.
I don't want to
avoid
hate
those
anybody.
feelings.
I just am. It's just getting. It's like you.
Or how much you hate yourself then.
Well, okay, all right. Well, it's like waking up and going, this again.
Yeah.
This. I got 12 hours of this before it's okay for me to
Go back to sleep.
go back to bed.
Well, capture that. That's already. I'm already captivated by your expressing it. You're always going to be an artist. Like a guy.
Yeah.
You know how a guy at Dunkin' Donuts says what you just said. He says something that he heard on television. He says same shit, different day, and he
Right.
can't. And then he rapes somebody.
I don't want to rape anyone.
What would be the dream?
That's good.
I don't know.
of
That's
you-
the thing.
If you woke up and said, "Oh, I'm creating, I'm working, I'm doing this thing," what would that be?
I don't know. I don't know what that would be. I mean, I literally can do whatever I want right now. I mean, I'm sitting on a ton of savings. I don't have many expenses. I could jump on a plane and go anywhere I want. I could invest all my money into something. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just this severe sad apathy.
I vote
feel
for
the
going-
exact same way, except without as much money. I mean, certainly I'm more comfortable than I have.
You could
been.
get on like a twin prop and go a couple places in California.
Let's go like fly. with
I vote for going like following your assessment of the monotony, though. I think that's how caterpillars start to spin a cocoon. That you feel sluggish, you're full of leaves, you don't want to eat them anymore. You have all the energy you need. It's just all like your metabolism is down, and a transformation is about to happen. And the caterpillar. We don't want if we like our butterflies, we don't want our caterpillars like forcing themselves to go to yoga when they feel that way. We want them to like double down on that feeling because locked somewhere in there is the beginning of a new phase. You're lucky to have a logical stopping point emotionally where things just feel like okay. I think that can be incredibly depressing. You know, when you finish a draft, you finish a job, like there's that postpartum depression but it's because you're done with one thing and you haven't started another yet and you feel useless. And I know that's not what you're feeling right now. You feel like it's on a larger scale, but I'm saying that's because the project that you finished isn't as simple as, oh, I just did this thing with J.J. Abrams and now I got to look for another job. It's a chapter of your life that is ending, and it could be a regression to childhood. Like you may need to get your little cardboard things back out and I would say, instead of forcing yourself, like, oh, I'm gonna make like a new franchise. I'm gonna do this amazing thing. Like, I like this thought of you turning your gaze on the clockwork of life, where you're like looking at how pointless it all is. You're going like, this is what life is. This is like, I'm like killing time between naps, and I can't get out of bed, and like time means nothing, and life means nothing, and all this stuff. I'd love to see your blue period. You know.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I've been thinking about that like a lot, like in the last year, just like, what do I really want to be doing? You know, I've had this trajectory of living a certain life, you know, since I was like 8 years old, you know, and I'm living it. You know, I've done pretty much everything I've ever set out to do, at least tasted it, and now I'm like, well.
Wasn't that great?
Well, it's great. It's fine, but where's the surprise? Where's the person that said, "Oh, I one day," you know? I mean, like the you hear the story of somebody doing the opposite of what we're doing. You know, the lawyer that said, "I want to write the Die Hard 3," you know, like, and goes out and does it, you know, and leaves that world behind and becomes a creative. Like, what's the opposite of the creative person who has done nothing but being creative this entire life, even for fun?
Do you think there's a version of you, Rob, that even if you wrote the perfect thing, got all the kudos for it, that would make you happy? Like,
well, I've already done that, and it makes you happy. But being happy and being satisfied are not necessarily the same
let's
thing.
say satisfied. Like
Yeah.
what? Like is there a version where you go, oh, I crossed a finish line that made me feel satisfied? Like, is there a work thing, a drawing that you could do, a movie you could write, a award you could win, that you would cross that threshold and go, oh, I feel good?
I miss being proud.
Well, then what would make you...
But I don't know. I mean, you know, like, I just, you know, there's some things that you go out and, you know, you do something and you're like, I did that because it's a job, or you do this and it went so far and it was great for that, but then it just didn't go over that next step to get to out into the public or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I feel the same too. It's like there's fake thresholds I thought that I would have crossed by now, but I'm just happy now to make a living, like doing like what I like, and that's, I'm in a very lucky percentage of people that get to do that. But you're more artistic than I am. Like your book, like, but I can't do anything else. It's like you draw and you don't even like it. Like you draw because you have to, because what else are you going to fucking
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think, there's those two levels of, it's like you and I have been on both tracks at various stages of our careers. There's the track where there's all this artificial outside encouragement where people are calling and going like, how'd you like to meet with Gwyneth Johnsonberg? And you're like, Gwyneth okay. And then she's like, I've always been into Slinkies and Slinky's interested in, and then you get out of bed every day and go like, oh, well, I'm gonna fucking blow people's mind by making this best Slinky movie. And you have all these outside like things, and it's like carbohydrates. Like, it fills your blood sugar, and you, as long as you keep stuffing your face with Snickers bars, you don't know that you're running on purely blood sugar. And then one of two things happen: you run out of Snickers and you get starving, or you get really fat and you're also unhappy because you're working 50 jobs for Gwyneth Johnsonberg and Slinky, and none of them are passionate, and that's like again, you just feel like you're miserable. And then there's the Atkins diet of creativity. This is a bad metaphor because you're vegetarian.
Vegan.
But it's like, it's that other thing of like, like what Jeff had said, like, is this about profession, or is this about creative? Because they can be two different things. And I think you're well aware of the fact that you don't want Robert De Niro to drop through a skylight and be like, I want you to make a Bullwinkle movie with me. Like, that's not going to make you happy right now.
No.
And you don't need it. No. And so it's like, I think it's the other things that we're talking about. Like, you feel like when Eddie Murphy went up at the House of Blues and started singing about how he didn't feel like he was funny anymore after Pluto Nash or something. Like, you're feeling midlife, like, creative crisis.
It's like you get the phone calls from, like, hey, there's a meeting, these people want to meet you, and you're just like, no, I don't want to. Whoa, why not? I just don't feel like driving to San Diego, getting stuck in traffic for something that's a meet and greet that's just not going to go anywhere, or anywhere I want to do the fucking Captain Crunch movie, or the electrician's serial killer movie.
Are you feeling, Rob? Are you feeling more creative or less creative now? Like, do you feel?
I'm feeling dead. I'm feeling done. And it's hard because if I was just living alone, but I have my insecurities about my wife, who's younger than me. Going, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to live with a zombie.
Well, that goes back and forth. She'll be drawing checks from the account of your relationship at some point when she's feeling down. She loves you. She did sign up for this. She didn't have a preconceived, like, she didn't want you to be energetic when she married you. She wasn't going, I've been with you for 7 years, but I have this condition I'm not sharing in my vows, which is that I want you to be bubbly every day.
She's a creator too. Like she makes stuff, and also like she has to deal with her own like ups and downs in the creative process. Like she doesn't work at a bakery. She also wants to make things, and she's a creator. And you're both dealing with the same. We're
gonna get so many tweets from people at Dunkin' Donuts and bakeries. Like, they've twice now been used as an example of people that have no point to live and are contributing nothing. I'm gonna get that usual tweet from the Fight for 15 minimum wage socialist people.
Spencer, you if I may, like you sent a pretty dark tweet out today where you felt you said you wanted to die. You're done.
This is like playing Price is Right, but it's like the price of life, and the closer to zero you get, you.
Was that a joke or creative, like desperation, or just it
was really funny, right? Wasn't it hilarious?
Hilarious.
What was
everyone
it?
Was looking at it, they're like, man, that is classic setup payoff. Oh boy. Yeah, no, I don't know. It was bad. I'm in a bad place. Like I said, I feel like Rob does. I identify very strongly with everything you're saying. I don't know. I had the thought that, and this may or may not make any sense, but like the whole concept of a midlife crisis, it might be like this biological, what do you call it, reproduction instinct, like after you go so far, suddenly the light goes out of the world and it kind of becomes gray. And the reason it becomes gray is because then you can see the world fresh new color once you have a kid. It kind of basically, it's like New Game Plus on the world, and it kind of just changes your perspective and lets you kind of become comfortable with the idea of it's not about my happiness, it's not about me being the protagonist in the world, it's about being part of this community that is then putting forth new people that are then the new.
And you're looking at things that are going to stale through fresh eyes. It's like when you're a fan of, like, say, Star Trek or Dungeons and Dragons, and you're teaching somebody who's never done it before. It's boom. It's just like so you have a kid and you go, "This is Christmas. This is Easter.
You get a whole new
fun?
life. It's like the second chapter. Like it's this everything about your life you get to redo.
But I've been having midlife crises my entire life.
Yeah,
like,
but
I think I was
humans
like
used to
14.
live until 30, right?
Well, you've gone through a lot of midlives, yeah.
Yes.
You're like the cat of middle age.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with, a typical Dunkin' Donuts, a shit-eating bakery worker.
Okay, Dan,
a dough monger.
Let's lay off the donuts for a while.
Time Magazine can identify one midlife and one midlife crisis, and creatives are constantly dying and resurrecting in their minds. I think that you guys are hitting the nail on the head, because it all has to do with the future. When you're 25, you don't really realize that what's keeping you going is thinking unconsciously about how life's going to be when you're 35. Like that energy just permeates you, even though if anyone asked you and you consciously answered the question, like, so what's it like being so young and like having your whole life ahead of you? We were all there. We would grouse and be like, what do you mean my whole life? I should have done something by the time I was 21. I blah, blah, blah. Like, and also even if you were an optimistic person, you'd be like, look, I'm not a materialist, so I don't care about the future. I don't care what's going to happen. I'm not thinking about that. And you'd pass a polygraph test. But when you get to 35, you then start to realize that there's some tank that's emptying here, and I can't quite put my finger on it. And then you get to 45, and you're like, aha, I know what that tank is. That tank is thinking about the future. It is just the idea of the future. But here's the glorious invitation that represents. Because this isn't an epiphany we're having when we're 70, which would be fine to have it then. Like Unforgiven, we could take a shotgun into town and just blow everyone away in the rain. But to have it when you're truly middle-aged is to truly say, oh, my thought about the future tank is empty. That's a good tank to be empty. It's like going into ketosis, and I am now going to have to actually live off of the moment. And Jeff is saying that in one way. He's an actor. He's going like he broke through to, I'm just a wandering minstrel, and I've found joy in, like, send me on a plane to India, send me here, like, as long as I'm always working with people that I love, and I'm getting paid to do what I love, and I don't have to work in a shithole bakery with the fucking disgusting bakers.
Talking to you, Dunkin' Donuts.
Talking to you, bakers of America, you gross fucking yeast shitters.
Who wants to be a fucking baker?
You disgusting milk-fed fucking 90 IQ donut wranglers.
You tell me what yeast even is, bakers, and I'll fucking give you a donut.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's not rising. Your life, you pieces of shit. And there will be no comeuppance for this. There will never be a working class revolution in this country. All right, but
we should keep saying that. I think that might be a good idea. They're like just angrily. There'll never, like, just in public, there'll never be a working class uprising. Just get enough people to say that. All of these teenagers are like, what the fuck does this guy know? Like, we're gonna fucking riot. I think that could work. I mean, it's a joke, but I think it could work.
You're the Guy Fawkes of not having a mask.
Anyways, but I mean, that's what we need to get through to is
Well, that's the thing, like,
is just that I'm waking up and there's a depressing way of saying it, that you're waking up and there's nothing. And then there's also a really,
there's definitely a way that you could go, oh man,
this is heaven.
The things that I've always wanted to do, I've done, and I'm kind of sick of it. I'm kind of sick of my own shit. But at the same time, I could go. But now's the time to change. Now's the time to do something different. Now's the time to invent a new style.
I'll tell you something you've always had over me is, like, I've never had the balls to say no to the Clifford the Big Red Dog meeting or the so and so wants to meet you. I can't shake this terror, but I need to. It's being forced upon me that I need to, because I've done nothing but spread myself thin and botch a bunch of projects. Like, I need to just say no thank you to the Jenga phone call, the Jenga movie. But instead I just keep going, like, well, do you think he'll set it in the future, and taking that call, and then of course he says yes, but he's lying, like, either you go into the fucking Jenga office and in Encino, and
is that a riff, or was there actually a
it's based in truth?
I can't. It's so hard to do anything creative,
right?
For me, that I can't do it unless I love it, and I got to figure out a way to love it. If I can figure out a way to love it, I'll do it. But if I can't, I'm wasting everybody's time. So, yeah, I don't work as often as I probably could, and I could have a bigger savings account than I do, but I just I do whatever I want, and right now I'm like in a scary place, because this is what depression feels like, is like I don't want to do anything ever again, and I feel like it's going to be ever again, and then eventually my wife's going to leave me, my dog's going to die, I'm going to have a no savings account, and you're just going to bury me in that apartment that I've been living in for the last 20 years because I'm afraid to move out.